Deadly tornadoes ripped through the heartland overnight, so this morning we're getting you up-to-the-minute updates on a chaotic situation, a tragedy unfolding right now in Missouri.
All we're asking for is just to let her walk with her classmates. She's did the work, she's did the punishment. Why can't she walk?
And to walk or not to walk, the clock is ticking. Tonight is the Athens High School graduation, but two seniors arrested in an altercation, still waiting to see if they can walk across the stage. We'll have the latest on this legal battle straight ahead.
And opening arguments today for a man accused of an unthinkable crime. We'll let you know where the case against Lionel Francis stands now that a jury has been seated.
You're watching WAFF 48 News today.
Good morning, welcome in, and get ready for some hot weather. When we say hot, we're not kidding. Hot weather for the remainder of the week.
Yes,
yeah.
Jessica Faith, she's bringing the heat this morning, and it looks like it's here to stay, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but this morning is really a picture-perfect morning. Really nothing to slow you down weather-wise. We're looking at a mild and quiet morning, so as you head out and about, you are good to go. But you're going to be cranking up your AC later today. We're talking about well above the norm temperature by the peak of the daytime heating. Hot and getting hotter. That's pretty much the story as we go throughout today into the weekend. Going into next week, we're still looking hot. So for this weekend and for your Memorial Day, the heat is set on high. How hot is it going to be? I'll have all the details in your full forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Jessica, thank you so much. We begin this half hour with some breaking news from overnight. One person is dead after a shooting in Florence, and now police say they've arrested and charged a man with murder. It happened on Blair Street in Florence. Here's a look at the area where police say it happened. Police tell us they found a victim on the sidewalk, a person with a gunshot wound. That person died on the way to the hospital. Now a man is facing a murder charge in the shooting. This is 69-year-old William Butler, who was arrested at the scene. Investigators say they're still working right now to find out what caused the shooting. If you have any details that could help them out in this case, you're urged to call Florence Police.
Also breaking overnight, violent tornadoes tear through central Missouri, leaving at least 3 people dead. This is brand new video in from Jefferson City. Search and rescue efforts are underway across the storm's path right now. And there are tens of thousands of power outages, and officials still don't have a handle on how many people have been hurt and how many homes have been destroyed. And look at this video from overnight. You can see lightning illuminating the storm. I don't know if we are able to pause it right here. You can actually clearly see what appears to be a huge funnel cloud in some of the video we've been seeing this morning. This is from Eugene, Missouri, about an hour southwest of Jefferson City. And we also want to show you this video from Golden City. It's near the border with Arkansas. Witnesses are describing this scene as chaos, and the damage is catastrophic. Officials are warning people to stay off the roads and let emergency workers do their jobs. And we're going to keep following these stories all morning and bring you updated information as soon as it comes in.
And then also breaking overnight, a wildfire erupts near Jacksonville, Florida. So far, it's charred at least 150 acres. And the blaze also is burning close to Interstate 95, where Duval and Nassau counties meet. So it could be a problem for drivers as well. The Florida Forest Service says so far it's only 25% contained, and parts of I-95 could be closed off during the morning commute if that fire gets any closer. Also happening today, John Walker Lynn, known as the American Taliban, is expected to be released from federal prison in Indiana. There he is right there on your screen. You may remember he was captured by American forces during the invasion of Afghanistan, months after the 9/11 terrorist attacks. He spent nearly 2 decades in prison. Lynn will still have strict supervision once he's released from prison, but documents from his counselors in prison suggest he still holds extremist views.
Also happening today, government forecasters will unveil their prediction for the 2019 Atlantic hurricane season. An average hurricane season produces 12 named storms, of which 6 become hurricanes. The Atlantic hurricane season starts June the 1st. And this week, the first named system, Andrea, was a subtropical storm that formed hundreds of miles from Bermuda and quickly faded.
Happening this morning, opening statements are set to begin in the capital murder trial of a Huntsville man. Lionel Francis is accused of shooting and killing his 20-month-old daughter back in 2016. WAFF 48 Sheila O'Connor joins us now live to talk about this case. And Sheila, prosecutors are seeking the death penalty in this one.
they are trending. Today, prosecutors will begin presenting their case to a jury with opening statements set to begin today. The jury, both sides, had all week to sit down and kind of select this jury. So that jury will now be seated later this morning, and then opening statements will begin. Now, this all starts back from May of 2016. Francis, he's accused of shooting his 20-month-old daughter in the head. Now, during his preliminary hearing a few months after the crime, investigators testified that the mother of the child had just gotten out of the shower when she heard gunshots. Francis then allegedly told the mother that she would have to live with what she made him do. Investigators had also testified that Francis then went and sat on a curb and smoked a cigarette while waiting for police shortly after the shooting. Now, Alabama, there's a new law in place, or a law that was passed back in 2017, that would prevent a judge from overturning what a jury has suggested at the end of the case when it comes to sentencing. The judge in this case, though, has decided that judicial override will apply in this case. That means if Francis is convicted of this crime, the judge will have the final say in how he is sentenced, and a jury will only provide a recommendation to the judge. I'm going to be in the courtroom this morning for opening statements, and make sure you follow me along on social media. We'll be bringing you guys the very latest details on the 48 News app. We're live this morning in Huntsville. Sheila O'Connor at WAFF 48 News.
Sheila, thank you for that preview. Meanwhile, to walk or not to walk, happening today. 2 suspended Athens High School seniors still trying to figure out if they'll be able to walk during tonight's graduation ceremony. 18-year-olds Michaela Boykin and Gabrielle Kirby were arrested and suspended indefinitely after this incident with Athens police at the high school April the 9th. You may remember this. We reported on this at the time. Now, the 2 teens claim that in April they were told they could walk. This morning, though, the Southern Poverty Law Center says that's no longer the case, and so the SPLC is suing the school district.
You're going to want to take one mistake of being disruptive in class and not let her walk. And she's a straight A student, 4th in line to be the valedictorian.
He's worked 12, 13 years, of course, and this year has opened up a new person. He's been very excited about graduation.
Superintendent Trey Holliday tells our news partners with the Athens News Courier that the school system strongly denies the claims in that lawsuit. SPLC lawyers are in North Alabama today with the hopes of going before a judge before tonight's graduation.
Making Alabama highways safer, that's what Governor Ivey says we'll achieve by upgrading the state's DUI detection devices. The Alabama Department of Forensic Sciences will use a more than $236,000 grant to purchase new breathalyzers and refurbish existing machines. The new and updated equipment will be given to law enforcement agencies across the state. And that's not the only big announcement from the governor's office. Governor Ivey helped break ground on a new auto supplier in Huntsville, which will bring in more than 650 jobs. The supplier YKTA will be the biggest on-site supplier for the Mazda Toyota plant, creating opportunities for many career students in the valley.
Our students are the next generation of workforce. These are opportunities that they would not have had 5, 6 years ago. These are great manufacturing jobs that are going to allow them to provide for a family, for their future, moving forward in a great way.
A great opportunity for those tech students, and the supplier plans to start churning out parts in 2021. Jessica?
90s continue to be the projected high as we go throughout the next 7 to 10 days. So how hot are we talking? I'll have all the details in your full forecast coming up.
Also coming up this morning, we're letting you know what lawmakers are doing, trying to keep your children safe and making sure they are not left in a hot car.